Alright, YouTube and Final Fantasy community. So you guys might not be aware of this yet, but Final Fantasy 9 has been added to the PS4. Square Enix actually dropped a trailer for this, which I have playing in the background. The volume is turned off because the entire time there's like some music playing, so I don't want to, trying to avoid the copyrights and all that. But essentially what this version of Final Fantasy 9 is, it's the PC version of Final Fantasy 9 ported to the PlayStation 4. It has smoother textures, smoother graphics. If there's any kind of bugs or glitches, those have probably been fixed. The cinematics are in HD. And then there's like, achievement support or trophy support, whatever. They did the exact same thing to Final Fantasy VII back in 2015. They had the HD remix or just Final Fantasy VII HD. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but it did the same thing: better graphics, smoother graphics, HD cinematics, trophy support, whatever the case. It's pretty much the best way to play these games now because, for one, you can't really find the discs anymore. That's kind of a bitch to find unless you buy it online. And then the ones you can get on the PlayStation Network are just the original ones, like the original graphics, original games. So this is like the best looking version of these old school RPGs. It's the best way to play them. It's almost enough incentive for your boy to finally get a PS4. Not quite, it's close, but not enough. Final Fantasy IX, a game that always wins during best Final Fantasy ever discussions, has been released on the PlayStation Store everywhere. Hold up, let me stop you there. Alright, so I've been around the Final Fantasy community for quite some time, going on like 2 decades or something, and I've had a lot of discussions about each and every Final Fantasy game. And I can tell you from my personal experience and from shit I've seen online, Final Fantasy IX does not win that often. There are people out there whose Final Fantasy IX is their favorite. It's going to happen. Obviously, 7 is the most popular. It's going to win the most discussions. That's like, you can't even really argue that. It's almost like hipster to like Final Fantasy 7 these days. It's almost like not even cool to like it, but I don't like it because, for other people's sake, like, it just happens to be my favorite. It was the first one I ever played, and it's just stuck with me since my childhood. But Final Fantasy IX is a great game. It's, Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, the 3 that were on PlayStation 1, they're in my top 5, top 10. Like, they're all great games. Final Fantasy IX is one of my favorites, but I have very rarely ever seen it win like the best Final Fantasy ever discussions. Generally speaking, it's between 7 and 6, and usually 6 wins. 7 wins by popularity, but 6 is considered the best Final Fantasy. And we continue. The first sign of Final Fantasy IX hitting PS4 occurred overnight when a PS4 release of the classic Final Fantasy game was rated by PEGI, the Pan-European Game Information Board, which decides age ratings in Europe. The game has been rated PEGI 12 for depictions of violence and bad language. This is, old school Final Fantasy, dude. Like, on the PlayStation, like 7, 8, 9 had a lot of curse words. Sometimes it blanked it out, sometimes it didn't. It seems like PEGI only jumped the gun slightly, as a few hours later, Sony Japan announced the game would be coming to PS4 at their Tokyo Game Show 2017 press conference. Furthermore, it's hitting Japan today, which was the 19th when this article was uploaded. That lines up with the release date listed by PEGI, which is September 19th, today. Shortly after the conference wrapped up, the game appeared on the European and North American PlayStation stores. One thing I'm not sure about is that it said it already released in Japan, and then that part of the article says that it released on the European and North American servers as well on the PlayStation Store. So, are they even going to have Final Fantasy IX, the HD, the PS4 version, at Tokyo Game Show now? Like, is there even any fucking point? Because it sounds like they almost released it everywhere just because PEGI, accidentally announced it early. They might still end up showing the trailer. It's only like a minute and something long. It's only a couple days old, this, news and everything, so there's probably still a lot of people out there who don't even know this exists. If you pick up the game, you'll get a lovely Final Fantasy IX style PS4 theme, just as was the case with the PS4 release of Final Fantasy VII years ago. Final Fantasy VIII still remains out in the wind, though it's the only one of the 3 PS1 Final Fantasies that doesn't have a properly enhanced PC port, which is what these ports are based on. So that's a bit interesting. I wonder why Final Fantasy VIII doesn't have a properly enhanced PC port that they can use, I don't even know if it's does Square Enix make the PC versions themselves, or do other people enhance the PC versions of these games? I don't know the details of that shit, but it seems odd. Final Fantasy VIII is a great game. It's definitely the worst of the 3, it's not as good as 7 or 9, but it's still a great game for what it is. It's very different. It's one of the most different ones in the fucking series, but it's still a great game and deserves an HD remake, I think. Final Fantasy IX's enhanced Steam port released for Steam in April 2016. That iteration of the game also included no encounter mode, which lets you turn off random encounters, although you'll need to use them sometimes to level up. This is also the case with Final Fantasy IX on PlayStation 4. Along with no encounter mode, Final Fantasy IX includes other optional features such as high speed mode, features to maximize character levels, magic stone counts, what the fuck is that, and Gil. Also includes the Master All Abilities booster, which will allow players to automatically master equipped weapons and gear. I gotta complain about that shit a little bit. What does, you can maximize your character level, like what does that mean exactly? Like, can you just level up as fast as you want? The magic stone counts and gil, I'm not exactly sure what that means, but the ability to just outright maximize your fucking weapons. If you don't know, with Final Fantasy 9, you had several different pieces of armor and accessories that you could wear along with a weapon. And each weapon, chest piece, headpiece, accessory had different abilities that different characters could learn. So according to what I just read there, it sounds like with Final Fantasy 9, the HD version for PS4, you could just put on like a fucking a weapon or an armor and just boom, learn all the abilities on it. Like, that's fucking stupid. That takes the fun out. The fun of the game was finding new weapons and armors, putting them on your character, going and fighting. Every time you beat an enemy, you'd get, gil for winning, you get experience for winning, and you get AP, which is what you get so much AP on that weapon while you're using it, or that armor while you're using it, and you'll learn that ability you're training or whatever. It just seems stupid. You take all the fucking fun out of the game. Final Fantasy IX boasts high-definition movies and character models. Autosave functionality, and Vita users will be pleased to know it includes share functionality and remote play with the handheld. I do like the autosave functionality. I don't know how that worked, how often it autosave, but that's actually a pretty cool thing. You don't have to find fucking save points. That's pretty much all the info we need to know from this article and about the Final Fantasy IX PS4 version. It's a bit of incentive for me to want to get a PS4, man. They already got like the 7 HD version, the 9 HD version. They come out with like 8. And I might be considering getting a PlayStation 4 just to play all 3 of these games again, with HD versions and, any kind of like upscale graphics and things like that, and trophy functions. Like, be able to get like achievements or whatever you want to call that shit. That'd be kind of interesting to see. One thing I find interesting about this, one little small thing, is that this sounded like it was going to be sort of a surprise at Tokyo Game Show if, like, the PEGI rating system hadn't fucked it up and kind of released that it was a thing early. So this kind of points towards the possibility of they could still do something Final Fantasy VII Remake, of course, at Tokyo Game Show as a surprise, because this sounded like it was going to be a surprise. We did not know until, like, a day or two ago that Final Fantasy IX HD was even a thing at all, and it sounded like it was going to be a surprise at Tokyo Game Show. So my point is, expect surprises at Tokyo Game Show tomorrow through the 24th. You never know what they're going to do, man. So I'm really leaning towards, now that we know that there actually is surprises in the store potentially for Tokyo Game Show, just be on the lookout for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Anyways, as always, guys, let me know your thoughts below on this. Are you going to pick up Final Fantasy IX HD? If I had a PlayStation 4, I definitely fucking would, just to play this game again in way better graphics. Also, let me know, what's your favorite old school Final Fantasy? Anywhere from like 1 to maybe like 9. 9's probably the latest. 10's a little too much in the future. I wouldn't consider that one that old. If you guys want to enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you guys are new, turn on notifications, follow me on Twitter at @TheDashingDavid, follow me on Instagram at DashingDavid. Links to my social networks are in the description. End of the outro. Later, guys.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's fake, 'cause I don't fucking care.